You can't help but be impressed with what's going on in terms of Shiba Inu. These times, as of late, have sucked. I think we can all agree with that. I never like to see drops in price. The back half of this past week into the weekend has definitely been brutal, but May actually ended up being the best month of 2025 for SHIB. And I want to talk about this with you guys, as well as show you guys just a couple things going on with the charts. I'm actually very impressed with what Shiba Inu is doing here. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So SHIB actually had a green day yesterday. A lot of people might not have realized that, but we actually printed a Dragonfly Doji, which is a bullish reversal candle. We've actually seen this throughout a lot of assets in the space. We've started off on a negative note. We got some overnight dumping, and we're seeing a little bit of dumping now that U.S. money is waking up. We'll see what happens here as the day goes on. It's about 7:37 a.m. Central Standard Time currently. But I will say for SHIB to have held a lot of its gains from yesterday is a very exciting sign. And you guys can see we're still just kind of putzing along the bottom of our trend. We're going to try to make a push back into this descending wedge. Not saying it's going to happen for sure, but that's what SHIB is at least trying to do. It's showing some resilience, showing some strength right around these lows that we were seeing back here in the early part of May. So that's where SHIB might in fact be trying to create a little bit of a pivot. I will say on the daily stochastic RSI, we got a bullish cross once again. We're kind of putzing around here, and it looks like almost everything throughout the crypto space is in fact bottoming in terms of stochastic RSI, which might mean we have a little bit of a relief rally. I talked about that earlier in my ADA video, but we'll obviously have to just wait and see how the weekend finishes, see if we can get into a little bit of momentum to start the early part of the week, but we'll just see how that all shakes out. Now, I did want to show you guys this as well, as while some people have complained and just capitulated and done what they've done, right? Whales once again adding. It's not really a surprising thing. They actually added 250 billion SHIB yesterday, and what we did in fact do as well is set a new all-time high in terms of holders. Actually, almost 1.51 million holders. That's a great sign. But what I think is even more impressive is what SHIB has done in the month of May compared to the prior months of the year. There have obviously been some months that have been good, some months that have been bad. When we're looking at Shiba Inu in totality here, if we look at May, we unfortunately did close on a bit of a red note. We've been kind of chopping basically since we got down to these levels in February, and haven't really been able to make some extended moves here. Kind of sucks. Would have loved to finish last month green, but unfortunately the last week kind of ruined everything for everyone. But on a fundamental level, we're showing a lot of strength. In fact, what we saw was May happened to be the largest month of accumulation for whales here in 2025. They actually added 9.98 trillion Shiba Inu, actually almost 3 trillion more than February, which was a massive accumulation month while we saw those big dips in the crypto market. What we also saw was the largest month of exchange supply removal in here in 2025 as well. 8.3 trillion Shiba Inu removed in the month of May, actually 500 billion more than than January. So what we're seeing is, again, a lot of the same fundamentals, the things that will lead Shiba Inu to do some pretty exciting pumps. It is happening at an even more accelerated rate. Okay. This is not sustainable to keep prices where it's at. What I mean by that is, if you're seeing whales adding almost 10 trillion a month, and you're seeing exchange outflows at 8 trillion a month, I mean, it's going to affect prices in a very big way. For those that aren't familiar with how a supply shock works, I mean, we're building towards exactly that. Some people might disagree. Oh, trillions and trillions of supply. Yeah, they're buying trillions every single month. All right. We have not had a whale outflow month in a very long time. And what they're doing is they're building positions. They're waiting for this big pivot in the crypto market. They're waiting for adoption to happen. And while retail is scared, the whales are taking advantage. The large entities are taking advantage of the huge opportunities that are here. Now, do with that data what you will. It's always up to you, right? You have a decision to make. You can either sit on your hands, you can capitulate, or you can buy. Those are your three options, and you can always do what you want. Me personally, I have taken advantage of opportunities around the crypto market, not just Shiba Inu. I'm trying to round out my bag. My SHIB position is one of the more sizable positions in my portfolio. It's because I find Shiba Inu to be a very unique asset. Like I've said many times before, I've compared it to BTC. It was launched with the purest of intentions. The founder walked away, didn't keep supply for themselves. And remember, don't confuse the SHIB ecosystem dev team with the Shiba Inu development team. Not the same thing. They had nothing to do with the launch of SHIB, and they have nothing to do with where SHIB is headed, because SHIB is a decentralized asset. It's one of the most decentralized assets in the entire crypto market. And that is why I think when we get back to this point where people are actually paying attention to fundamentals, when retail excitement is high, that is when Shiba Inu is going to do some pretty exciting stuff. We're not there right now. I think we're pretty close, and I'm going to talk about this more in a different video coming later today. I really want to break something kind of exciting down. We're doing something that we've done kind of following history, but that being said, it's the last day of the weekend. We're seeing lower volume, below $100 billion in daily trading volume. Shiba Inu actually only had $144 million. This is the exact slowdown that I think the market needed, and hopefully people are doing enough to defend price where we can see a little bit of a recovery here. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.